The name of my story today is Chosen. And at the end of class today, all the children lined up in the hallway outside the Sunday school room. Oh, and by the way, this is kind of a secret just for Hammond. He doesn't like the idea of it being called school, so he always calls it Sunday fun. So sometimes I need to remember to say, it's Sunday fun class. But it is actually Sunday school. Okay. I need a volunteer, said Pastor Ed. And immediately every student raised their hand and said, choose me, choose me. It's always fun to be chosen, isn't it, when they need a volunteer? Yes. Actually, said Pastor Ed, I need 2 volunteers. And all the children laughed because they knew he needed 2 volunteers, because every week after Sunday fun, he comes and he asks for 2 volunteers to be the offering assistant for the upcoming worship service. Some of you have been offering assistant, I think, haven't you? I always notice that the offering assistants do a nice job. I always think that might be fun. Well, the Bible story today has a story about Samuel, who was wondering who would be the next leader of Israel. And the Lord told Samuel to go visit Jesse, who has 8 sons, and one of them is going to be a good king for Israel. And so the oldest son, a very tall man, walked past Samuel, and Samuel thought, oh, this is the oldest son, and he's the tallest, and I'll bet he's going to be the next king of Israel. Except the Lord told Samuel, no, don't go by how tall he is or how old he is. God told Samuel that he is looking for the one with a heart to love and serve the Lord. So then Jesse sent his next son past Samuel, and the Lord did not tell Samuel to choose him either. And this went on for the next son, and the next son, and the next son, and the next son, and the next son. And Jesse said, good grief, what are you looking for in my sons, that none of them is the right one? And I only have one more son left, and he's out watching the sheep in the field. He's just little. And Samuel asked Jesse if he could see this littlest son. And so the littlest son came, and the Lord told Samuel that that's the son who's going to be the next king of Israel. And his name was David. And indeed, he did become the king of Israel, and he was a good king too. He made a few big mistakes, but he was really sorry about those. And he always worked to serve God. And so now Pastor Ed needs to choose somebody. And so he looked at Barabbas the tall, and he looked at Sam, the friend, and he looked at Hammond, who was fussing with his hat, and he looked at Polly, who was beginning to pout because she was afraid maybe she wouldn't be chosen, and he looked at Elizabeth the good, and he looked at Running Chairs, who was busy talking, and he looked at Tweeza, G-W-L, giraffe without legs. And he looked at Gator, formerly of Down by the River, and he looked at Obadiah the Quiet. And he looked at Larry and Loretta, but they're his own children and he can't always pick them. He looked at Sam the friend. I don't know if I said Sam yet. And he needed to choose somebody. And every week, 2 children get chosen, so everyone has a turn to be an offering assistant if they want to be. And this week, Pastor Ed chose Tweeza, G-W-L, and he chose Obadiah the Quiet. And they were happy to be chosen. And they were very good offering assistants. God has chosen each of you, each of us, to love and serve him with our whole heart. And this means we are to be good and kind by what we think in our brain, by what we say with our mouth, by the work that we do with our hands, and by who we love in our hearts. And just like David, we might make some mistakes, but mostly we want to serve God, and God knows we have good in our heart. The end.